I'll admit, I wasn't the perfect boyfriend. Who is really? But looking back now, I see how badly I underestimated her, how little I understood what she was capable of. Her name was Evelyn. We met during our second year of college. She had a quiet charm about her, the kind that drew people in without her even trying. Her auburn hair framed a face that always seemed lost in thought, like she was solving some intricate puzzle only she could see. She wasn't flashy or loud, but she didn't need to be. Evelyn had a gravity that made you feel special just standing near her. We started dating a few months after we met. She was everything you could want in a partner, kind, supportive, and deeply loyal. But Evelyn also had a secret, one she didn't share with anyone except in fragments that came through in her old, battered diary. The diary was her most prized possession. Bound in faded leather, its pages were thick with handwritten entries dating back to her teenage years. She kept it locked in a small metal box under her bed, and though she never explicitly said it, I could tell it was sacred to her. One evening, curiosity got the better of me. While Evelyn was out running errands, I found the key hidden in her jewelry box. Flipping through the pages, I realized her diary wasn't just a collection of thoughts. It was a chronicle of strange, inexplicable events. Dreams that later came true. Encounters with strangers who seemed to know her name. And then there were the darker entries. Warnings about people who had crossed her, only to find themselves plagued by uncanny misfortunes. I should have stopped reading, but I couldn't. The deeper I delved, the more unsettling it became. Evelyn's diary revealed she believed she had psychic abilities, the kind that could influence reality itself. When Evelyn came back that night, I'd already put the diary back in its place. She didn't suspect a thing. A year later, Evelyn and I were still together, but things had changed. My job at a high-pressure marketing firm consumed most of my time. The late nights at the office became excuses for late nights elsewhere. That's how I met Lauren. Lauren was the polar opposite of Evelyn, bold, flirtatious, and intoxicatingly reckless. Our affair started small: coffee dates, lingering texts, stolen kisses in parking lots. Before long, it became something more. I knew it was wrong, but I convinced myself Evelyn would never find out. She trusted me too much, and besides, I'd been careful. At least I thought I had been. Evelyn started acting differently around that time. She'd stare at me during dinner with a peculiar intensity, her eyes scanning my face like she was searching for something hidden. I chalked it up to stress or paranoia. But then one evening, she asked a question that froze me mid-bite. "Who's Lauren?" I sputtered, trying to play dumb. But Evelyn's expression didn't waver. She knew. Somehow, she knew. "I'm not mad," she said, softly, almost too softly. "I just want you to be honest with me." I lied, of course. Told her Lauren was just a colleague and that she was reading too much into things. Evelyn didn't argue. She simply nodded, her lips curving into a faint, enigmatic smile. A week later, Lauren started acting strangely. She'd call me late at night, her voice trembling as she described seeing someone who looked exactly like me in places I couldn't possibly be. "He was outside my apartment last night," she whispered. "Just standing there, staring up at my window." At first, I dismissed it as paranoia. But then it happened again. And again. Lauren began to unravel, her once confident demeanor replaced by a jittery, anxious shell of herself. The turning point came when I saw it for myself. Late one evening, as I was driving home from work, I spotted someone walking along the side of the road. The figure looked exactly like me. Same build, same haircut, even the same clothes I had on that day. My heart pounded as I slammed on the brakes, but by the time I turned around, the figure was gone. I didn't tell Evelyn about the encounter. How could I? But I couldn't shake the feeling that she was somehow connected to what was happening. Her demeanor had shifted in subtle, chilling ways. She'd hum under her breath, a haunting, tuneless melody, while staring out the window for hours. Her once warm hugs felt like cold embraces, her presence heavier, almost oppressive. One night, I confronted Evelyn. "What's going on?" I demanded. "Why are you acting so strange?" She tilted her head, studying me like I was a puzzle she'd already solved. "You've been lying to me," she said, her voice calm but dripping with an undercurrent of menace. "But it's okay. I fixed it." "Fixed what?" I asked, my throat dry. Evelyn didn't answer. Instead, she stood, walked to her bedroom, and returned with the diary. She set it on the table between us, flipping to a page I hadn't seen before. The entry described a curse, a way to reveal the truth by unmaking the falsehoods. At the bottom of the page was a sketch of two identical figures, their faces contorted in anguish. What did you do? I whispered, my voice barely audible. You'll see, she said. The next few weeks were a waking nightmare. My doppelganger began appearing everywhere, at work, at Lauren's apartment, even at my parents' house. People started calling me, accusing me of things I hadn't done. My boss fired me after I showed up drunk to an important meeting. Lauren left me, convinced I was tormenting her. Desperate, I begged Evelyn to undo whatever she'd done. I can't, she said, her eyes cold and unyielding. You brought this on yourself. One night, I saw the doppelganger outside my window staring at me with hollow eyes. This time, I didn't run. I stepped outside, ready to confront it. But as I approached, it smiled, a chilling, mocking smile, and whispered a single word. Why? I never saw Evelyn again after that night. She packed her things and disappeared, leaving only her diary behind. I burned it, hoping to destroy whatever power it held. But the nightmares continued. The doppelganger became my shadow, an inescapable reflection of my own betrayal. I've spent years trying to make sense of what happened. Was Evelyn truly psychic, or was it all in my head? All I know is this: when you take someone's trust and shatter it, the pieces can cut deeper than you ever imagined. And some wounds never heal.